Romania, a nation known for its rich history and cultural heritage, unfortunately found itself entangled in an unsettling incident within one of its penitentiaries. In a perplexing turn of events, a notorious and violent gangster was granted parole despite being implicated in a near-fatal assault on a fellow inmate. The circumstances surrounding this unexpected release raise questions about the legal mechanisms at play in Romania's criminal justice system. How such a release was authorized remains shrouded in mystery, prompting a need for a comprehensive investigation into the procedural aspects that allowed such an individual to be granted parole. However, the narrative doesn't end there. Subsequent developments in the saga took an international turn, as the very individual who had nearly claimed the life of a fellow inmate found himself facing the consequences of his actions on the global stage. Astonishingly, the former prisoner managed to elude authorities, eventually resurfacing in California, where he faced a judicial reckoning for his past transgressions. The tale of Anaser Duduianu, now spotlighted as the biggest Romanian scammer, unfolds against the backdrop of a legal and criminal landscape that begs further scrutiny. Join us as we delve into the intricate details of this gripping story, exploring the twists and turns that led a convicted felon from a Romanian prison to the courtrooms of California, shedding light on the complex web of illicit activities that characterize Duduianu's notorious reputation. Born into a sprawling criminal dynasty, Anaser's upbringing was entrenched in the illicit dealings of a family led by his father, a notorious mob leader. His formative years provided little exposure to anything other than a life steeped in criminal activities. Within the annals of law enforcement investigations, the Duduianu family, to which our protagonist Anaser belongs, has been repeatedly implicated in a spectrum of criminal endeavors. These include, but are not limited to, protection rackets, usury, extortion, human and drug trafficking, procuring, and even homicide, marking their indelible imprint on the dark underbelly of the criminal landscape. Situated in Bucharest, Romania's capital, the Duduianu clan is notorious for its reputation as one of the most violent criminal factions in the city. Unfazed by legal scrutiny, members of this organized crime group boldly flaunt their affluence on various social platforms, showcasing opulent mansions, high-end vehicles, and hosting extravagant events with an air of ostentation. Anaser, our young protagonist, inevitably absorbed the criminal ethos prevalent in his environment. Drawing inspiration from the ostentatious displays of wealth and power within his family, he ventured into a life that mirrored his upbringing. His innate temperament, coupled with a streetwise acumen, not only propelled him into the limelight, but also brought about numerous encounters with the law, solidifying his notoriety on the gritty streets of Bucharest. In the midst of a turbulent environment, Anaser's life took a recurring path in and out of prison. However, his formidable and unrestrained temperament not only marked him as a distinctive presence within Romanian penitentiaries, but also resonated on the gritty streets. Amidst the confines of incarceration for an undisclosed transgression, Anaser encountered a pivotal moment that would irrevocably alter the course of his life. Sequestered within his cell, Anaser discovered that one of his adversaries had been transferred to the same prison. The challenge, however, lay in the disparate levels of the penitentiary hierarchy they occupied. Confronted with this predicament, Anaser seized the opportunity to strategize. His plan was both audacious and perilous. He intended to lethally confront his rival. Leveraging his intricate network of prison connections, Anaser managed to orchestrate a situation that placed him in the same prison yard as his adversary. Under the open sky, Anaser breathed in the clear air as he meticulously executed his plan, stabbing his rival multiple times with a ruthless precision that brought him to the brink of death. Although an internal investigation was initiated within the prison walls, Anaser's influential connections shielded him from the consequences, resulting in his early release on parole. Yet, while enjoying newfound freedom on the outside, the specter of the unresolved case lingered, awaiting his inevitable return to prison. Law enforcement remained vigilant, anticipating Anaser's reappearance to administer justice and prolong his time behind bars. As a free man, Anaser embraced a lifestyle of revelry and indulgence, attending parties and immersing himself in the pleasures of his newfound liberty. However, this newfound freedom also became a source of complications, as it drew additional challenges and legal entanglements into Anaser's life. Embracing the newfound freedom that liberty afforded him, Anaser seamlessly re-entered the realm of business, driven by a desire to augment his financial standing. His re-entry into the scene, however, took an unconventional turn as he frequented parties attended by renowned Romanian singers, realizing the lucrative potential embedded in leveraging his name and reputation as a formidable, if not notorious, personality. Recognizing an opportunity to exploit the fame and success of these musicians, Anaser embarked on a perilous path of extortion, demanding substantial sums of money, often reaching up to 20,000 euros from unsuspecting artists in attendance. The ominous presence of violence was not absent from these coercive tactics, with Anaser employing knives as tools of intimidation to compel his victims into compliance and secure his ill-gotten gains. Even figures as prominent as Florin, a widely acclaimed singer in Romania, found themselves ensnared in Anaser's web of extortion. Anaser, however, did not discriminate in his targets, and instances of violent confrontations were not uncommon at these gatherings. A twist in the narrative unfolded when it was revealed that one of the singers at these events happened to be a cousin of Anaser. Rumors circulated that the singer was leveraging Anaser's name for personal protection, a notion that the protagonist vehemently opposed. In response, Anaser took decisive action, imposing hefty fines amounting to thousands of euros on his own flesh and blood. The repercussions extended further when Florin, one of the victims of Anaser's extortion, decided to shed light on the criminal activities by bringing the matter to the attention of the authorities. Subsequently, Anaser found himself a fugitive from justice, prompting him to flee to England, where a new chapter of this unfolding saga begins. The pursuit of justice and the intrigue surrounding Anaser's criminal exploits now transcend national borders, adding another layer of complexity to his tumultuous story. In England, the notorious gangster Anaser made his grand entrance, swiftly establishing dominance within the underworld. A lavish celebration ensued, orchestrated by one of his captains who chauffeured him in a Rolls-Royce. Simultaneously, back in Romania, law enforcement continued their relentless pursuit, escalating Anaser's status to the pinnacle of the most wanted list. Undeterred, the wanted Romanian fugitive continued his revelry and illicit operations in England, mirroring the criminal activities he left behind in Romania. Specifically, he persisted in his nefarious practice of seizing singers at events, a methodical act that had become his trademark. However, a fateful night at a Romanian gathering in Birmingham disrupted Anaser's routine. Attempting to carry out his usual exploits, he found himself confronted with unexpected resistance. This time, Anaser targeted a singer during their performance, only to face extortion charges. Complicating matters further, a rival Romanian clan present at the event grew increasingly irritated by Anaser's encroachment. Chaos erupted, resulting in a massive brawl that left Anaser and a fellow mobster hospitalized. Though law enforcement arrived on the scene, Anaser's identity as the most wanted man in Romania did not trigger any immediate action from the authorities. Caught between the watchful eyes of English law enforcement and the hostility of rival clans, Anaser determined it was time to abandon his English escapade. He opted for a strategic retreat, setting his sights on a new destination, Mexico. Leveraging his extensive network of connections, Anaser deftly eluded law enforcement in England, evading capture right under their watchful eyes. Employing forged documentation, he orchestrated a journey to Mexico with the ultimate objective of reaching the United States. Basking in the opulence of destinations like Cancun and other exclusive Mexican locales while remaining on the lam, Anaser exhibited a remarkable ability to navigate the complexities of an underground existence. Seizing upon his ties with individuals experienced in human trafficking, Anaser successfully crossed the border into California, embarking on a new chapter in his notorious career. As he observed the lucrative opportunities that California offered, Anaser underwent a strategic transformation, transitioning from traditional intimidation tactics to a more technologically sophisticated approach, card cracking. Methodically, he cultivated an organization specializing in this illicit activity. However, the escalating success of the Romanian syndicate did not go unnoticed by U.S. law enforcement. Sensing an opportunity, authorities initiated an investigation that would ultimately lead to the unraveling of Anaser's criminal enterprise. While navigating the streets of California, Anaser's evasion of justice came to an abrupt end during a routine traffic stop. Unbeknownst to him, the law enforcement officer recognized him from the most wanted list, swiftly effecting his arrest. Subsequent to his apprehension, U.S. law enforcement delved into an extensive inquiry, revealing the scope and nature of Anaser's activities on American soil. Anaser's status shifted dramatically from a long-sought fugitive to a captured criminal. U.S. authorities orchestrated a series of raids that culminated in the arrest of 48 members of his organization. In these operations, the Orange County Police uncovered a staggering 300 cloned cards and seized over $100,000 in cash. Presently, Anaser faces severe legal consequences, confronting the prospect of more than 30 years in prison for charges related to card cloning and fraud. The elusive fugitive's protracted run from justice has finally concluded, with Anaser now confined behind bars, marking the culmination of a relentless pursuit by law enforcement. In the saga of Anaser Duduianu, a once shadowy figure navigating the realms of the underworld, a captivating narrative unfolds, one marked by audacious escapes, transcontinental pursuits, and a precipitous fall from grace. From his triumphant arrival in England to his orchestrated evasion under the noses of law enforcement, Anaser's exploits transcended borders. However, as the story unfolds, Anaser's luck wanes. The pursuit of justice caught up with him in the vibrant streets of California, where routine enforcement brought his fugitive journey to an unexpected end. Recognized from the most wanted list, Anaser's arrest marked a turning point in his criminal odyssey. The subsequent investigations by U.S. law enforcement laid bare the intricate web of his illicit endeavors, from trafficking and border crossings to the high-stakes world of card cracking. The unraveling of his organization, with 48 members apprehended and a cache of cloned cards and substantial cash seized, underscored the exhaustive efforts to dismantle Anaser's criminal empire. Now, Anaser Duduianu, once a wanted man traversing continents, finds himself facing the consequences of his actions. The corridors of justice have caught up with him, and the prospect of a lengthy prison sentence looms large. The enigmatic journey of Anaser has reached its conclusion, a cautionary tale of crime, pursuit, and the inevitable reckoning that awaits those who tread the shadowy paths of the underworld.